And there was talk around the prison that this bloke, he was telling people that he's in for rape, blatantly. And I'm like, why ain't no one done nothing to him? And so when they do, in the morning, they call you for work, they was like gathering people in a secure area. And I never used to go on there because I never used to go to work. So I had a cleaning job. I never used to do nothing, but I had a cleaning job. And so I wanted to get out there because I wanted to see who this bloke was. And so I got out there one morning, sneaked past the screw, and I plotted up next to him. And I'm looking at this geezer, and I'm thinking, whoa, I can see why now, because he's massive, right? So I just went, hey, I hear you're telling people you're in here for rape. And he looked at me, looked down at me, and he went, yeah, well, what the fuck are you going to do about it? So I went, what? And he went, what are you going to do about it? I said, you'll see now. And then the screws come, and they said, come on out, and you shouldn't be here. And they dragged me back. So the next time I see him, there was a big poster dropped with rapist nonces, keep him out of this prison. And he's running along the landing and he's on fire. I said, I told you we'd meet again, didn't I? And then, they had to call the fire brigade and everything. His cell blew up. I don't know if it was electric or something like that.
He had an accident coming.
Yeah, but there was another geezer. And this was crackers. So there was this geezer. And I call him in my book Binman. So he used to collect the bins from all the landings, all the wings, and take them out to be all emptied. And he was from a place called Aylesbury in Oxfordshire. And I used to see people talking to him. And I used to look at him and think, there's something wrong with him. He ain't right. There's something not right. So I went up to this geezer and I said to him, what's he in here for? He went, oh, no, I'm not telling you. So I said, what do you mean you're not telling me? He went, no, I'm not telling you, I don't want nothing to do with it. I said, what's he in here for? He went, oh, look, Gal, I tell you, but it's like a miscarriage. It's not right. It didn't happen. I said, tell me then. Let's discuss it. So he said, what happened was, right, he was going out with this girl, and her dad was racist. So he didn't want his daughter with him, right, because he was black. So I went, yeah, I don't get you 11 years in prison, because 11 years is an odd number. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's not what armed robbers get. It's not what burglars get. So I'm thinking 11 years, that's not right. So I said, you don't get 11 years for that. And he went, oh, he's nearly done the sentence. He's on his way home. I said, I don't give a fuck. I said, what's he in here for? He went, what happened was, right, because the dad was a racist, he didn't like him. He used to have to go and meet his girlfriend, but he used to have to climb in the window and they'd have a kiss and have sex and all that. And I went, right, still don't get you 11 years. He went, no, but one night she weren't there, the lights was off, and her 11-year-old sister was in there. I said, shut the fuck up. I said, do you believe that? And he went, yeah. I said, you don't believe it. I said, never talk to me again, you fucking idiot. So the next morning, bin man's coming to collect the bins. And I've got a sock. And I've never spoke to this geezer. And I've got a sock with 2 big square batteries in it. And I'm standing at my cell door and I've got it around my back and I'm leaning up against the wall. And he's come in. I know he's got to go to the 3 floors, the 3 landings. And I went, morning. And he went, like he's shocked for me to talk to him. I went, morning. He went, all right. And he went up, got 1 bin, took it back, come back the second time. I said, all right, how are you? So he went, yeah, I'm all right, thanks. But as he's walked past me, now I've run across and he's where that lamp is. I've hit him. He's turned round, I've hit him. I said, oi. And as he's looked round, I've hit him and his skull opened up. It was just pure white, no blood, just opened up and I went crack. Now, that to me, that's like the bullseye on a dartboard. I just keep hitting it and hitting it and hitting it and hitting it. And he's screaming, he's running up, like crawling up the stairs, going, ah. And he tries to get to an alarm. I just keep hitting him. He's going to be there all day. And then I heard a gate open and then an alarm go. So now I've got a mop and I'm mopping up the blood, right? And I've got the water, I've chucked it in the toilet and I've run in the cell and I've shut the door. And so I'm laying there, right? And they all come with riot gear on because it's a serious assault. And they're all standing at my door. So they open the door and the SO comes walking in and he says, Hutton, we want you to come to the office. We want you to come calmly. I said, what for? He said, there's been a serious assault and you're the only one on this landing. I went, right? He said, yeah, so it's you. I said, hold on a minute, didn't you just open that door with the keys? And he went, I said, so how am I meant to get out there then and do that and get back in here? What, am I Houdini? And he's looking at his mates and he's gone, yeah, I did open the door. He said, but I still want you to come. So he goes to his office, he goes to the SO's office and they escort me there. So I sit in his office, I said, what's happened? I said, I'm confused because I was locked in a room, in a cell. I said, I don't know what's going on. Why are you accusing me? I said, like, what's happened? He went, there's a serious assault. I said, who was it? He went, oh, and he told me his name. I went, ain't he in here for raping an 11-year-old girl? And he's doing 11 years. And he went, yeah. I said, come on. I said, if that was your daughter, you'd have people queuing up to beat him up. Don't be accusing me something and the door's locked. I said, you can't prove nothing. The door was locked. What, did you let me out to do it? And he went, no. I said, well, you can't do nothing there. He said, get out of my office.
Because the guards, when they know someone's got those charges, that person's got nothing coming. But I've got a question for you then. So in Arizona then, there's a lot of he said, she said stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes people will be saying like that person's a chomo, they say, is out there child molester.
Yeah.
But then if you don't produce the paperwork to show that person's a chomo, you get stabbed.
Yeah.
Is that how it works in the UK?
To be honest, they very rarely get an hiding.
Okay.
Seriously. Some people befriend them.
Yeah.
And talk to them and have a relationship with them. Like, it was an eye-opener for me. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with these people? Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And I knew I had to get out of there because it was full of them.
Yeah.
And so one day I went into an office, into SO's office, and I'm sitting there. And I said to him, look, I've got to get out of here because I'm going to end up staying here for the rest of my life. And he said, you probably will. So I said, I've got to get out of here. He said, but you can't. He said, you can't. Everything that goes on in this prison is down to you. So I said, that's why I've got to get out of here. At the time, it didn't matter where you drop me off, I'm going to be as bad as everyone in there. Do you know what I mean? Because that was my nature. Do you know what I mean? And it was all about survival. And I said to him, you've got to get me out. He said, no, I can't. You're not going anywhere. And then something come out of my pocket and I put it on the table and he went like that and he got on the computer and he went, you're going to Spring Hill Open Prison on next week. I went, thank you very much. And then when I got there, that's when my life really turned. So I got there and there was a few people I knew and they had these, it was an open prison, but it had a big fence around it. And but it was more relaxed. You could walk about, you could do what you want and things like that. And you was in the open. And they had these old tunnel, what they used in the World War II to house soldiers. They was made of corrugated iron, and they had beds in them and all that. And they said to me, "You're sleeping in there with 20 other blokes or 30 other blokes." And I was like, "Okay." And so they were at the other end of the prison. They had these nice rooms in like these bungalow setting, wood temporary things, but they had nice rooms in them. So a couple of geezers I knew, they was coming to an end of a 25 doing, they used prolific armed robbers, security vans, and they said to me, "Gal, you're not sleeping with them. Go and get your bags. We've got a room for you here. Every night we're having Chinese, curries, pizzas delivered to the gate." I'm like, yes, okay. But then they dropped something on me, and which I don't want to go into, but they said to me, "But you're on your own on this one. He ain't coming with you." So I went, all right. And I'm walking around this field and I just thought, you know what, I'm just going home. And so I went back and I made a phone call and I said to someone, look, meet me in half an hour or an hour at a McDonald's that I've seen when I'm passing in a sweatbox in the prison van. And I told him where it is. He, all right, okay. So I give him time to get there. And I just jump over this fence and I'm gone. And I'm running through these fields and I'm a bit lost, right? So I see a village in the countryside. So I walk out into this village and I'm walking along and people start looking at me, and all looking at me weirdly. And I've got prison issue clothing on. And so I went back into the fields and I'm running through these fields and it's getting darker and darker and darker. And I'm running and running and running. And now I can't see my hand. right, it's getting that dark and I'm running through these fields. I think, Jesus Christ, I'm never getting to McDonald's. It ain't happening. And I stopped and I slowed my breathing down, and it's pitch black. And I stopped and I slowed my breathing down, and I can hear, come on. And I'm listening to it, and I'm thinking, where's that coming from? And so I'm walking, and I'm slowly walking to this voice. And I get to these bushes, and I climb through the bushes, and there's a little girl. She's got a horse, and she's like combing the horse down, putting it in the stables for the night. And she's going, come on, good boy, and all that, right? And I walked up to her, and I had a Walkman, a Sony Walkman. At the time, they was worth money. So I said to her, it's crazy. I said to her, hello. And she went, oh, hello. I said, is your dad about? And she went, yeah. I said, do you like music? And she said, yeah, of course I do. I said, look, there's a Sony Walkman. Put it on, you can listen to the radio. I said, but I want you to take me to your dad. I took this little girl, walked across the farmyard, and I've got this little girl I've got to buy around. I knocked on her door, and the dad comes out, and he's looked at me, see me in prison issue clothing. He looked at his daughter and he grabbed his daughter. I said, no, mate, I haven't done nothing. I just need your help. And he went, what's going on? I said, look, you can see I'm in prison issue clothing. I said, I just need to get to McDonald's. And I told him where it was. And he went, I said, will you give me a lift? I said, I ain't in prison for nothing. No, I'm not, you can, I told him what I was in prison for. And he went, yeah, all right, mate. He took me in his car and he drove me all through the country lanes and dropped me off at McDonald's, and I went home. And, when I got to McDonald's, got some new clothes, put them on, some money, bought some McDonald's, and we drove back to London. But then that become a whole new way of life. Do you know what I mean? And then the paranoia does kick in. Now I'm not suspicious of everyone. I'm becoming paranoid.
Are you on drugs?
So I was drinking, and a little dabble with the powder, with the white powder, because the only time I smoked was when I was in prison. Do you know what I mean? But so I couldn't be slowed. I like the fast life. So when I'm watching people growing up and they're taking heroin and they're projectile vomiting and then going like this, I was like, whoa, I don't want that. I want to go out and party.
Vomiting and scratching the walls all day, all waste.
So I like the fast things. So yeah, and see, that become a whole different ball game being on the run. I was on the run that time for 18 months. I've done quite well for 18 months being on the run, still living in London.
How did you manage to do so well?
So I describe myself as a little street urchin that's very cute but not good looking, but I'm cute in other ways. And so I worked out that you can't drive, you can't go on a bus, you can't go on a train, because all these can be stopped. So you walk everywhere. Do you know what I mean? And the chances, someone in their late 20s, 30s going to get stopped, it ain't happening. Do you know what I mean? If you present yourself well. So I could quite actually function, as long as I didn't go in a car or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? So I walked everywhere. But then you end up walking like this, because you're always looking over your shoulder. And so when I went back into prison, I'm walking along the landings after 18 months of being on the run. I'm walking along the landings going like this, but not realising I'm doing it, because it become a habit.
And were your crimes escalating while you were on the run?
Yeah, I still took part in crime. I still took part in crime because I had to survive. So I still took part in crime. And so, because crime for me at that time, it was a way of life. It was me going to work. Do you know what I mean? And so, but then when I went back, my life changed completely.